Hello, everyone. Welcome back to It All Happens on Game Night. I am your game master, the voice of the speaker, also known as Paul. And here are my four absolutely crazy players who have decided that they still want to play games with me.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. It's
Hel-
Hello.
uh it's nice to finally be back. I'm happy to be here.
It has been a while, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
we took a bit of an impromptu break. Sorry for not saying anything, but we're back now,
yeah,
ready to be fools.
yeah. I'm looking at chat right now. Last message was 41 days, 22 hours ago with a 19 culture check. Good job, Kalius.
Oh, thank you.
Uh, just some quick announcements. First of all, we're gonna try to stick to a bi-weekly schedule. However, if we are to miss a scheduled program at 6:30 p.m. Central Time, I will be sure to post on the community tab in on uh, it all on the YouTube channel on It All Happens on Game Night. Furthermore, in an effort to be a little bit more consistent on posting the VODs, I will be setting up the release day for Mondays at 5 p.m. So if you want to listen to this live in action, please come in on 6:30 p.m. On Saturdays Central Time. And if you want to come in later and hear our lovely voices not live, detached and in the form of your computer on YouTube, please go to the VODs on our YouTube channel at 5 p.m. on Mondays, also Central Time. Man, really should have had a script prepared. I feel like I talked too much. Anyway,
I think you
He's
did
talking
fine.
just enough now.
it's been 40 days. I feel like I can be a little bit crazy. Anyway, would any of you guys like to help me recap on what happened the last session?
I don't remember very much, so no.
Fair
I
enough.
remember a bit. We were discussing what our next move would be when we got a surprise visit from the illustrious R.K. Wilder himself. Kind of weird that he decided to just visit a bunch of nobodies, but I guess we're not really nobodies because we all survived the ring fall.
Congratulations, by the way.
I say we all. I'm
All
playing a new
quote
character. My
unquote.
original character kind of bit the dust.
Yeah, all quote unquote.
All asterisk.
Some casualties.
Anyway,
Yep, happened.
R.K. Wilder basically gave us his their, I guess you could say, blessing endorsement. Point is, he's helping us out, if even if indirectly. And right
Patronage.
now, the action we chose to do was to go investigate. What was the city called again? We're going to the ring where all the reporters are.
Yeah,
It's
To
Uvin. Uvin.
Yes, we're going to Uven to try to figure out why only certain places are trying to figure out what the hell happened back at the first ring, which led us to basically a propaganda house, and we're gonna talk to one of their very eccentric reporters right now. After they literally dropped in on us from a
Featherfall,
high-story
baby.
window.
Featherfall, baby.
That's what I remember. I'm sure there's some things I missed.
I think you got the gist
Uh,
of it. Any other thoughts from anyone else? Do you guys have thoughts? Period? Question mark.
Out of character,
um,
I'm
No.
loving where this is going. In character, I'm sure Kalius is regretting coming to this particular place first.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think I'm good.
All right,
I think I'm good too.
all right. And so we come back into the Whale Lounge repository as this very fanciful individual. This, sorry, this Yetta Haida leads you past the tables and gives you guys all a smile. Well dressed academic. And he's just, you know, I really like you when adventurers come by. They always have such big opinions, interesting stories to tell. I mean, listen, steel snails are fun and all, but you guys are like the real deal. Heck, I believe like your weapons could even split a steel snail. Maybe I should try. Nah, never mind. So, what can I do to help you guys out?
Well, you see, we came to Ubon because while there are a lot of people trying to investigate what exactly happened back on the first ring, it's come to our attention that for some reason some people aren't, and I'm sure you could see why that might seem a bit suspicious. So we're just trying to figure out what's happening, especially since some of the people who aren't are some of the people who, no offense, are much more qualified to investigate this situation.
I want you to make an immediate persuasion check, Kalius. Because that was very mean. Just right off the bat,
And
saying to a steward of this institution that they are inferior.
Yeah, this is called.
I mean, it's accurate.
I mean,
I'd
mean,
be,
it's a good thing I have a D4 to this.
Uh,
Let's go, nat one.
This
while
is
they're
it's called the
talking
Whale
to him, I
Lounge,
would
right?
be,
yeah, it's called the Whale Lounge.
Okay.
Oh shit!
yeah.
Sorry, 23.
I think you can say those words on stream. Maybe I don't know. I need to do more research. Anyway, yet it
I would like to be checking for any kind of a reaction that seems out of place.
from Yetta or like just the general
Yeah.
vibes around. 'Cause,
Primarily for him, but anybody else within earshot. Like seeing if anybody's reacting like, wait, what? Kind of acting a little weird.
Even though I
yeah.
did get a 23, I'm gonna try to backtrack a bit and say, not to say you aren't qualified, just that some of the people who are investigating have a lot more resources available to them to more thoroughly investigate why the first ring might have fell.
I just need to make a quick note of that. Are you relying more on perception, Referami, or insight?
More insight.
Got it. Then yeah, this is gonna include like people in the immediate area. Make your insight check.
16.
Gotcha.
Actually, wait. Go back to the roll I did.
That I will say, I am going to resolve Referami's check in a second, but I will say, Kalius, even though you're not the one doing an insight check, you do see a slight twitch from Haida's eyes as you like literally drag their institution through the muck and then try to recover with like, oh, there's probably better. It's more the fact that it's better places.
That the other places have more resources available to them to do a thorough investigation. Not to say that you guys aren't bad; they just have more opportunity.
In Referami, you're like looking around, and you are picking up like a sudden twinge of like broken ego from this individual. Like immediately, that's what you pick up.
Hmm. Okay.
And
Anybody else around to react, or just
yeah,
him?
well, there's many others, and like if you begin to look over, like definitely clearly noticing and hearing what was said, a f- quite a few of them just sigh and go back to their own work. But you can see like a few of them are keeping their eye on you guys. One individual seems to like immediately leave and walk away as Kalius is backtracking. But
I
you
think
don't
I'm gonna step away and follow them, just kind of see where they're going,
got it.
while Kaylee's dealing with that guy.
Uh, as like you begin to do that, Referami, uh, Hide just sort of looks over and like begins to say something, but there's just a lot of general hubbub in this like main area. And one researcher does come up to you, Raf, and just, um, I'm, I'm sorry, sir. You can't just move around the whale lounge on your own, especially if you're not a member. Would you like to sign up to become a member? It is a monthly subscription. I can take you back to the front desk. This person walking is walking away at like getting out of sight at this point. As this individual's
Going further into the lounge or leaving the lounge?
further into the lounge, like go
We
Okay.
like the. It seems like they're going into like where the books are.
we talked
Okay.
about this out of character. We talked about this last time. It ended up being a steeper price than any of us wanted to pay for a monthly subscription, and it sounded like there wasn't a free trial.
There, no, there is not.
Boo! Bad practice. No, just kidding.
Listen, these journals have to make their money somehow, and they don't make enough money apparently with their tabloids, their renting services, and their coffee.
Have coffee? Why do they have their own brand of coffee?
Listen,
Um,
you know what you need after drinking. I'm sorry, after reading all night. Bourbon.
Capon.
You know what you need to get rid of that hangover.
More bourbon.
And then after you drink yourself to death, you know what you need? Coffee.
God. How would you rate their coffee on a scale of 1 to 10?
Can you please make a culinary check, Kalius? Uh,
I will.
Do
uh,
it.
uh,
Do it. Do it.
just for the bit.
Because culinary check. That would be culture cuisine or a different check?
Culture cuisine would work here.
All right, so with expertise, that'll be D4, right?
Yes.
Got it.
If you click on the specialty at the top, it'll automatically roll it with the expertise applied.
I will
Yeah,
say
12.
you can also use tools to give yourself additional expertise. 12. It's a pretty strong coffee. It's not really meant for enjoyment. It's more meant for effect.
So more like espresso than coffee.
Yeah, and even then, it's not very good espresso. It's just there's theories that it is mixed with oil. Anyway, back to this. Referami, do you let this man stop you?
Oh, I just saw a friend of mine heading that way. I was just trying to get their attention.
Well, if you have a friend, maybe if you go back to your group, I can go find them for you.
Okay. Yeah, he just went that way. He just went through the door just now.
Cool.
I saw him. That's why I started walking that way.
Cool. What's their name?
Oh man, it's been so long since I've seen him. I think he used to go by mentally. What would be like a common name for this ring?
Make a culture check, please.
Okay.
Because this would one of the best additions of this
Four.
system is the introduction of culture, which is more just quick logic, which I really love. What do you say, Referami? You have no clue.
I think it was like oh man, it's been so long. I want to say it was it might have been John. Yeah, I think that might have been John.
All right, and how do you spell that?
J Z ONN. The Z is silent. If it's a John, I think it is.
Oh, it's Martian Manhunter. He's the only John who spells his name that way.
Shush! Don't give away my secrets.
I'm just gonna put this quickly in community notes. Jean refs.
Alright, if you ever need an alias, that's gotta be your alias now.
John Jones, yeah, definitely.
The Z is silent. Anyway, they look at you. I'm gonna have this individual make a quick history check to see if they can deduce your bullshit. Because I don't think this would be contested with insight. This is more just them knowing things. Can you please make a deception check, please?
Yeah, I can do that.
That should have been a
This is
private
going
check.
I don't know how well I'm gonna do that, but I can do that. 5.
Oh. so
They
close.
look at you.
Well,
Yeah, sir. I will make sure I find John for you.
Thank you. I didn't get that good of a look at him, but it looked like it was him.
And just sort
I
of
appreciate
smiles, nods, and immediately turns to walk away. As like
Oh,
the rest of, as a lot of people around you are giving you the look of like go back to your group. And as this is
and
Hmm?
I'm gonna just be like, oh, here you go for the trouble, and I'll give him a gold piece.
turns around and like as you flash gold, immediately like or like as soon as you say like here for your trouble, it's like oh no, knowledge is its own and immediately sees the gold. Well, there is I am starting a dissertation about the ever rolling sand. I will take your coin for the furtherment of research.
Question. I'm assuming that is in the far quarter, correct?
Uh,
Just based on the name alone.
no, actually, there's a small desert on the rings that I've been doing a lot of research in. It pulls a lot of the sand from the far quarter, but I do my research extensively in a box of sand. It is trademark the sandbox.
That was
playing
out
in
of,
the
out of character.
sandbox.
That's fine. I'll roll with it. Oh, okay. I thought that might have had something to do with it. I've been to the far quarter a few times, so I thought that sounded familiar. Well, maybe one of these times you can come along with. I'll help protect you. We'll have some people with us, and you can get a first-hand account of the origin of the sand.
They smile and just say, "Absolutely not," and turns to walk away.
Can I?
Understandable.
Okay.
Thank you.
I don't know how close I am. Can I roll insight to see if Ref is flirting with this person?
Sure. Roll insight, and I'll let Dragon decide if it's high enough to figure that out.
Okay. You know, by the way, you should have when you were talking about sand, you should have used the "it's rough and coarse and irritating and gets everywhere" line. Women love
Yeah.
that line.
God.
I don't
As
actually
long
have
as
the
you don't
person
roll
to
in
roll
that
this
one, you'll know
for.
that I wasn't.
All right. Okay, insight. Oh, I'm proficient
Otherwise,
at
I
this
would have used
now.
that line.
Natural 20. This is what I get the nat 20s on,
There you
baby.
go.
Rolling critical success table, baby.
All right.
Get it?
6. The target. Oh my gosh! Refs is lying to me now.
No, absolutely not.
What?
No.
Can I
No,
roll again?
absolutely not. Roll on that again, please.
Okay.
Oh wait,
Or
no,
maybe
no,
that
no,
other
no, wait, no,
person.
no, no. Hold up. It says may become romantically interested with you. I'm letting rat.
No.
Okay, cool.
No.
Okay.
We're just gonna shut
I
that down.
used the sand line. It came true.
You're too short for me.
Viewers, the reason why we're laughing at this is because
Don't worry. I am
we're
showing
this whole
this.
okay.
I feel like if we do need to explain what's going on, just feel free to just ask me to show the chat.
All right. I'll roll again. Okay, 1. I don't know what the other. I don't know what that critical success is.
Uh,
I don't really need a critical success on this, by the way. It's fine if I don't get one.
Once again, I think we're just keeping it as the 6, and it's saying may become romantically interested. I'm just letting
All
Raph
right.
make the decision, yes or no.
No. Too short for me.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. That's something I particularly want to roleplay. Okay.
Howard.
Anyway, yeah. So answer the question, Rafami. Are you flirting with this person?
No.
Great.
I could tell
Oh,
that I probably didn't come across that convincing, so I was just trying to cover it a little bit and get back to the group.
Got it.
great. Well,
It's a you like.
my question is answered now. Let's never speak of this again.
Don't worry, there are no witnesses.
Nice.
Looks at chat.
But still no
Oh,
witnesses.
I never noticed how strong your shoulders looked from the back.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, I know.
He don't.
I have extremely strong shoulders. I have to, I need strong shoulder muscles to fly.
And
Yeah, that makes sense.
lift the way of the world, and your world is Rava.
Well,
Uh,
also true.
anyway, back to the original group as Haida is like says something towards Referami as they're walking away, and like just it's like hey, please stick with me. The well lounge is not. Oh, he's okay. There's somebody else getting him. Uh, well, I'm and like looking right at you, Kalius. I'm very sorry that you view the Whale Lounge repository as ill-equipped to deal with this onslaught of information and trying to figure out the truth. And I must assure you, given that we are one of the top publishers of the rings, we are very uniquely qualified to look through our many sources of information to try to help this situation as best we can. We have magazines, reporters, personal notes from all our reporters that we are skimming through and trying to piece together the truth. And I would deeply appreciate if you would give us an apology.
All right, that was rude of me. I apologize. Like I said, I meant more that the institutes and the universities have more, I guess you could say, funding from the
I'm going
government
to
to
lean.
handle
I'm
things.
going to lean over and
But
try
you
to
know what you
shush
can do,
Alias.
Yeah.
but you definitely can help.
Carthon had. How are you shushing Kalius?
Probably just coming over and saying, "Okay, you said you were sorry. It's generally not a good look to try to add. I'm sorry, but just
Okay.
Uh,
I do
just
apologize.
keep the
And
humility.
there is something you can help us with if you're still willing to.
of
After I thoroughly seasoned and cooked and put my foot in my mouth.
You say all that, correct? Or
What the
is
whole this season cooked and foot thing? Yes.
yes? Uh, I do
Was it
wish
tasty?
I do wish to say out of character. Uh, this is a reference to another campaign I'm doing with Carlos and Mark. Carthon, you are a dragon with wings, and Carlos
This is
is doing
true.
something very silly. You can just slap them with your wing.
Well, that would be impolite. I'm not going to assault one of my friends, even though I've only known this guy. I've known this guy for like 2 weeks, but whatever. I'm not going to assault anybody unless we start combat.
Oh,
So no.
unless Kalius becomes a BPEG. Oh no. Anyway,
Yeah, unless he becomes a villain, then I'll fight him.
fair enough. Anyway, Hide looks to you and just, of course. Well, your words have been subpar. That does not mean our services have to be as well. So I'll ask once again, what do you need of us? And at this point, Referami, you have rejoined the party.
Anybody else want to take over, or you guys gonna keep it like Haley's?
No, no, you're doing fine. You're doing great, honestly. Very persuasive.
I mean, I did roll a
That's not
23.
Yeah, to recover.
Okay, yeah, true.
To recover.
God.
Yeah, I don't
Well,
really want to take over this conversation.
well, I imagine, unlike the people from the universities and such, your reporters are able to get around without arousing much attention to themselves, right?
Most of them. That is a very important part of being a reporter, is to not become the subject of the story.
And I also imagine, unlike the people at the university, you like to keep your ears very close to the ground. Local rumors could be a big help in your profession.
Oh, a lot of our reporters do love to follow rumors. In fact, there's been a very juicy tidbit. Have you heard? There's a new brand of cigars called Coral. Apparently, it's actually made of coral tendrils, and it has some very interesting properties. They say it allows you to breathe underwater. Another seems to claim it boosts fortitude and makes skin less rough for those with scales and such. Anyway,
Interesting. If I was a man of the smoking persuasion, I probably would check that out. What about you guys? Good luck to the rest of the party about this before we continue on with the subject at hand.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, I don't really have anything to say. Sorry.
The referee would have just, when he got back to the group, would have moved himself to a position where he was with the group, but could still keep an eye on the doorway the guy disappeared into.
got it.
Not overtly like staring at it, but definitely keeping it within view in case I see movement over there.
Got it.
Oh, hey, because I forget, is Rava just waiting outside? I don't know where she is.
I'm gonna say Rava is not allowed inside a place of learning.
Yeah,
How else was I supposed
yeah.
to learn about her?
I'm sure she would just eat all the books like a goat.
Yeah. There are hitching posts.
Okay, great.
And I imagine you have a sign of like, do not pet, like therapy animal, do not pet,
Sure.
or get bit.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah. Uh, how did begins to lead you guys to like one of the back parts of the repository, and he looks to all of you and like, so your objective here is to find information about the fall of the first ring or the quality of our rival institutions?
Second one, though not so much the quality of the rival institutions, but more if you might have any idea why they're choosing to back away from this pursuit of knowledge.
Hmm.
Especially since some of the bigger names, such as the give me a sec. You wrote this out of character. You wrote all this stuff
Community notes.
community notes. Here we go. Community notes,
Yeah, there's
such
the
as
Center of Vininian, the Dulce University.
you said this in character to me, or
I mentioned a couple of them, yeah.
But yeah, to save a little bit on time, Haida is more than happy to lead you guys where they think information about these institutions would be. Though I will be honest, they're they don't seem while they're still smiling and staying positive. It does seem like their energy has died a little bit as the topic becomes this. And honestly, as you like begin to pull out magazines about the other institutions, you begin to like magazine after magazine of essentially smear articles of like uh, new My Sin zombie linked to uh, Uven Community College. Alumna is a necromancer? Question mark. Uh, corporate talks at the Helios International Collective for the 100th day in a row. When will they finally just be quiet and just
so basically a whole bunch of sensation pieces.
a lot of sensation pieces? And they do pull out like some data about like enrollment, results, and a lot of really sensational interviews of individuals who claimed to have worked with these various institutions. Uh, what skill do you guys want to use to try to figure out important things here?
But before that, can I also see if I might be able? If question, would there happen to be an archive of stuff that hasn't been published because it doesn't meet your standards you usually put out?
Oh, if you want to see that, you'd have to purchase a monthly membership. Uh,
How much is that
Oh,
again?
that's
Out of character, I forget what that is, but I forget what I said last session, but I do think I said like something around like 10 gold pieces per month, which is a lot.
Really? Okay, no, all right. No, I said really because I thought it was more expensive than that.
I mean,
You
probably
know,
is. Feel free to correct me, and I would appreciate you keeping my campaigns consistent. But it has been 40 days.
yeah,
no.
I don't
I
remember.
honestly, I feel like I do remember that being. You said 10 gold a month.
I'm just gonna give this person 10 gold, whatever. This will make it go faster, and I got enough money. Here you go.
Perfect. Can I please have? Uh,
Wait, is it okay if is it okay if I pay for this in platinum just for convenience and to show off? Just give one platinum.
of course.
All right, I will do that then. Yeah, okay. I actually have more than I thought since I have all that platinum from looting the governor's safe all those sessions ago. Ah, it really takes me back. But yeah, all right. They can have that, and all right, I'm a member now. Do I get like a
Uh, I,
do I get like a special card or something?
I will say, uh, they do. Haida is gives you a very big. The enthusiasm comes completely back as Haida essentially calls over one of their friends. Uh, they go to the front, get you the forms, and it asks for everything: name, full name, legal name, your address, what you just put down, Black Soot, uh, your social security number, and
Do we
Do
have those?
do I have one?
uh, I. Uh, long story short, they asked all the important like identification things for you. You do fill out everything as best you can, correct?
Yeah, no, I'm not going to try to lie about any of this information. Um, hey, does anybody, out of character, does anybody want me to like get them a membership? Just since it might be kind of boring if I'm the only one in the archives, but it's up to you if you guys want to pay for that.
I mean,
I'm currently
are they
broke.
only gonna let Carthon into that archive or no?
You want to ask a question, Kalius?
Are friends allowed in? Out of curiosity, is
Uh,
this like a family pass? Can we share a
no.
membership?
You'd have to upgrade to the family package. That would be 25 gold per month.
How many people are allowed on that?
Four.
One, two, three. Size gives another platinum and 5 gold because that's cheaper than everybody else buying their own. That would be 40 versus 25.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I need all of you guys to please put down your details, identification, so that we can. And also, perfect. One archivist actually comes up with what seems to be a camera, and like comes on up with like, and it's like, all right, I'm ready to take some photos for your identifications.
Got it. So even though this is a family pass, just to be clear, these people are not biologically related to me. I hope that's okay.
Oh, well,
I know it's very subtle, but you know, if you look at us, you can tell we're not related.
oh, uh, they look at each
I'm just
other.
gonna lean down, put my face next to his, and be like, "We're practically twins, can't you see?" And just smile.
Hmm. Well, now that you've mentioned that you're not biological family, we do have to put down a surcharge for that. That's gonna be another 5 gold.
I hate you.
God,
Uh,
beautiful.
can you prove we're not biologically related? Did you get that on tape?
Can I please have your roll a
Is
D100,
this
Mark?
Okay,
I believe.
sure.
It's gonna be very hard to mess this up, but
Okay,
are you trying to
89.
uh,
Wait,
incriminate?
9.
uh, they look at you and like look at each other and like they like gesture to each other and like the cameraman shakes their head and Hyde just like, I suppose we don't have a recording. Um, so I'll ask again. Are you guys all biologically related?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Great. Then please smile for the camera.
Carthon smiles, but his teeth are very gritted together. I'm not angry at any of these people per se. This is just kind of frustrating for him. He's not used to dealing with
Nickel
this
and
kind of
dimers,
thing.
scammers.
Uh, Quality journalism, let's just say. I'm not used to dealing with quality journalism.
Fair
Quality
enough.
quote.
So they take all your photos, and from this specialized camera, there you guys do all obtain a monthly membership to the Whale Lounge Repository. It has your photo.
Great,
It has basic details. Uh, and for yours specifically, Carthon, uh, your your ID says uh, automatic renewal. and it's stamped 1 month from now.
Yeah, that's I figured. I'll be sure to manually cancel this subscription once we get everything we need.
All right. And as you guys all get your family identifications, congratulations. Uh, they don't question the fact that you guys all have different last names. Uh, they smile as
But
they.
they haven't heard of adopted family.
Well, I mean, they don't question it.
They're
Exactly.
we're all very distant cousins, which technically counts as family.
Yeah.
This is a
Cool.
that
Good
family
for
don't all
me.
share last names.
Anyway, as you guys are led by Haida to the special collections, which is guarded by what seems to be like a weird door. Okay, it's not really much of a door. There's like a there's like a disc in the center. There's like a complete metal that's has like multiple spokes out into the doorway. As Haida comes up, they seem to pull out a piece of paper, show it to the door, and the bottom spokes of this area of this doorway retract into the larger disc. As Haide smiles and walks past, don't worry about the security. Just don't look at it too closely. It does get very shy.
Got it. Don't stare at the door.
And as you guys walk past, there is the very distant sound of stamps. As you guys go into the special collections, you come into a large room, and there's a shit ton of different noises because there's multiple open air conference rooms. Multiple individuals walking around with notes, lunches, coffee, going all different ways as many people are trying like you look over and you see like there's a large area just dedicated to General Spirit and just figure out more details about her. You see like an entire board of like promiscuous background, military service, and like you look over to another part and it seems like they're trying to figure out what happened with Elenin. And like you see a headline, Life on Elenin comes to a complete stop. Beats to blame. As Haida looks to you guys like, welcome to the ongoing special collections. If you wish to speak with our journalists as they are putting everything together, you may, or you can head on to the very back where our most recent publications are currently being made. And since you guys are full members, you don't need me to lead you around anymore.
Got it. Out of curiosity, are most of these fine people employees here, like writers, editors, so
Yes,
on?
yeah,
All right.
we do have a few contractors, but they're contracted to work with us for the time being. You can identify full time employees, by this whale badge on our lapel.
Great. Thank you.
No problem, Mr. Zalros.
Uh, one last question before you go.
Uh,
Um,
yes, Mr.
is
Grulich?
there any particular person that is spearheading the research and papers regarding the Fall of the Ring?
Uh, if you're asking about here,
Oh yes, through your publication, of course.
as I pull up a name generator, uh, his, their name is if.
You spell that?
As if
Uh,
what?
yes, their name is. They like to be called uh, is Mr. If.
Okay. Are they here currently?
Yes, is here.
Okay. Is here in the room with us?
Uh, yes, is here. If they wish to speak with you, if it is over there.
Seriously, can you
Thank
spell
you.
that?
Community notes is if.
Let's go.
I love name generators.
What species is if? No, I'm not asking that in character, just out of character. If they would say,
Uh,
which they might not.
Would if say what if is?
uh, y- you go around asking about uh is if, and they eventually come up. They eventually tell you where they are, and they're they're at the head of the conference table around General Spirit of the Flame. Uh, and as you come up, I don't really want to say what they say. Uh, I just want you guys to know this is the most J. Jonah Jameson rant about a tabaxi who has betrayed their people that you've ever heard.
Got it.
Full, yeah.
Out of character, I guess this doesn't really matter. I'd like to
Uh,
start looking around for this thing we're here for, if
uh,
that's okay.
uh, sure. Uh,
Absolutely not. No way. You can't do that.
I will say they are considered, as I remind myself, uh, they are they're actually an ooze folk,
Oh, interesting.
Ooh.
Interesting.
as they just are just they're just yelling and being very expressive with the slime that makes up their body.
And when you come back, you better have pictures of Catman.
Catwoman, actually.
Catwoman's Catman, just dang
Uh,
tabaxis.
there actually is a DC character called Catman. He's
Yeah,
not great.
Of course
he's
there
not.
is.
Wow. Listen,
Today you learned.
today I learned that people just want to be cats. Anyway, so you're looking around Carthon. What specifically are you looking around for?
Um, that is a good question. According to the community notes, there's some organizations being published and some that are not. Primarily the repository of the open mind. It doesn't look like anything from that has been published. Which I don't know anything about them, but I'm guessing the ones that you listed are ones that might have the clout to get published, but aren't necessarily government organizations, so they might not have gotten the funding in this case. So yeah, I'm gonna look at Repository of the Open Mind, Widem Collection Corporation, and Uven-based community college. Since it sounds like those are the three that, for one reason or another, have not published anything about this, even though it's been like 2 weeks. So it makes sense they wouldn't publish anything yet.
Got it. What chick? What? How are you trying to gather this information? And what? Uh,
I don't think Carthon has ever been to a library before. So I don't know. Uh, I guess I guess we'll just ask somebody where articles from those three might be. To be absolutely clear, Carthon is literate. He can read and write. There just aren't any libraries in Blackfoot, so I don't know about the Dewey Decimal System or cataloging or whatever.
uh, I'm gonna be real with you, Carthon. Uh, as you like begin to like ask some people for help, you are almost completely ignored.
Fair. You know what? I'm gonna ask everybody else in the party what they think we should do because they're probably more literate, no pun intended, in this kind of thing than I am. So guys, here's my idea. This is the idea that I had with looking for those three things.
Yes,
Do you guys
definitely.
know where we should start, or do you have your own ideas?
I mean, we don't know how they organize all this, so I guess the easiest thing would be alphabetical order. Right now, we know we're looking for articles or anything written about the places who aren't investigating the ringfall. So let's just look for stuff about that. Let's look up some names, and if anything, we could probably try talking to the contractors. People who don't work for the lounge. They might be more willing to talk to us and point us in good directions without trying to nickel and dime us too much. Silver and copper us too much.
I mean, tomato, tomato.
I think Ref would go straight to the source here and try to get something from them.
All right. Uh,
Because I think if anybody here would know best with the information we're looking for regarding the incident, it would be the guy that's in charge. That's been the most involved in the publishing of stuff about it.
sure. You guys want to split up and cover more ground as Kalius goes for the contractors and Referami goes for the big man themselves?
I guess so, yeah.
All right. Who wants to go with Kalius?
Oh, I'll babysit.
Oh, buddy.
Uh, yeah, I guess I'll go with Referami.
Cool. Uh, Kalius.
Yes.
You've been informed that those who have a full-time job with the repository, they have a like a very like a very anatomically incorrect whale on their lapels, and you
How anatomically incorrect?
uh, you're not sure the spine goes that way.
Oh God.
It's a whale drawn by Rob Liefeld.
Probably. It's
Oof,
listen,
that was a deep cut.
whales got big foreheads, but I mean, buddy, like it's like half the pin.
Uh,
Anyway,
oh,
So they
it's
drew him like one of their French whales.
what? Oh, oh, Oh. Anyway, Galius, you come up to what seems to be a contractor, and they seem to be like scribing down something from an like. There seems to be like a reporter doing an interview right now with someone from the first ring. It's nobody you recognize, and nobody you recognize either, Spurbod. But they are giving,
Powerful.
but they are dressed to the nines, and they are like hands up, being super dramatic with their hands, uh, fingers to face, and they're like really lean to like, oh, it was horrible. The the earth shaked. The skies were unclear. My heart beating out of my chest. I didn't know whether I could make it. I prayed that my husband was out there, ready to save me from my sin.
Can I roll insight, please? Like, was this person actually there?
Yes.
Or,
I would also like to insight this. This is
Yeah, you can both roll insight.
they're hamming it up, and I don't trust that.
A
nat 20.
Please roll on critical success.
Goddamn.
Spurbot, you can tell that this is a slight.
Ooh, the target accidentally reveals a useful piece of information.
Cool.
That is against this person probably lying.
Yes, definitely lying. This woman is trying to cash in, make a little bit of money as an actor, to make some cockadoodle story about how they were on the first ring and how they survived. And the reporter is just absolutely eating this up. The scribe, the contractor, seems to honestly not care too much. They're just sort of vibing. And and this woman, you know what? They are going to just. Oh, it was absolutely horrible. You know, the I I'd I wanted to come here to tell you my story because
Actually,
the repository of the open mind wanted to help me, but and they did steal me away among the fleet of telekinetics. I never felt so weightless. But then they asked for my memories in return, and then I did not consent. And they kept on asking for my memories, and I did not consent. And so, alas, I am suing them for all they are worth, because they have violated my rights to my own mind. Tragic that they still have not learned. And then she faints dramatically for a second before coming back. The reporter says some kind words as the scribe is just still visibly not interested.
so, Splurpod.
Yeah.
Wanna rain on her parade or should I? She is.
I'm sorry, you're quiet all of a sudden. What'd you say?
Yeah, he's kind of whispering to you so to not give it
Oh,
away.
that okay.
He's like saying,
you can just say you whisper.
because he's lying through her teeth.
You both sense that she's lying, by the way.
Between the two of us, who has the higher charisma? Who's more likely to?
Uh, Kalius
God.
it technically has a higher charisma. However,
Yeah,
God.
true.
5, 4, 3, 2.
So you said you were on the first ring when it all went down.
Immediately the reporter looks to you and like looks to her and like looks back to you and like, I'm sorry, sir. Are you a special member of the repository? Because I'm doing an
Yes,
interview right
otherwise
now.
I wouldn't be here.
Okay. Can you see I'm doing
What?
I'm sorry, sir. Can you see I'm doing it? And the woman's like, no, no, I do not mind answering the calls of those who are curious. Yes, I was there. Yes, I saw the metal bend before my very eyes.
Right. You saw the metal bend.
And then the
How?
explosions, and then the mountains. Oh, the mountains and the plants and the buildings all crumble.
Okay, you don't have to be this dramatic. You don't have to be this dramatic to tell us that you weren't actually there.
She continues her story through your guys' words, and she continues to just say what she needs to say. And the scribe is unfortunately writing this all down. She's
You
not.
guys are gonna be in the story. You guys are gonna be in the story as interrupting this poor woman with a great story.
Yeah, that is what you guys are going to be known for. Interrupting this great new odyssey.
Uh, actually, can I still use that roll of 5 so she does fuck up her story?
No, you got information.
Oh, hmm.
I gave you guys some information for that natural 20. Uh, Regardless, let's move over to the other party, Carthon and Referami.
Fair enough.
You're going to Izif, correct?
Correct.
Cool. You come up to Izif, and this ooze is just like they have a hat. They have an impression of a face that is talking. It looks genuinely really funny how they're talking, despite the fact that they have a very furrowed brow, and is yelling about like, listen, her tail could be equipped with all sorts of weapons. There could be a sword in there. There could be daggers in there. Who knows? Maybe they're religious and they got a holy symbol etched into her fur. We don't know. I can't. We don't know until we see it for ourselves. We need as many photographers taking as many photos of it, of anywhere that she might be have seen. And a few people are like, yes, sir. And they begin to run off. And Izif is like, and don't come back until you get something good.
What was that about? I'll ask if you don't mind me asking.
Oh,
Sounds like you're tracking someone dangerous.
oh, you're fine. You're finally here. Did you get my coffee? Oh, sorry. You
Go to
don't
the
work for
coffee.
you don't work for the repository. My apologies. Who are you?
Well, my name's Carthon. I'm a member, and this is Raframi. He's also a member and a family member. Don't ask how.
I
Um,
I
and,
only ask the right questions, and my only question is, how did you guys marry each other?
we are not married as of yet. Let's just leave it at that.
Oh, well,
Distantly related on my mother's
congratulations on the
side.
engagement. Anyway, what are you guys doing here?
Well, sorry to interrupt. I do apologize interrupting you since I'm sure you're very busy, ooze. But we've heard that you're the person spearheading research into the fall of the first ring. If you have a moment, we'd love to ask some questions about that since we are doing a little research of our own.
Understood. I have 3 minutes before my next meeting.
3 minutes, got it. I
Beginning the
will look at
timer
Raframi.
now.
I've Raframi, you got anything? You know what? I'll just start out. Yeah, so I guess so we were actually there. We are survivors of the Fall of First Ring. So just to get that out there. I was mostly just curious. How do you decide who you're gonna publish when it comes to when it comes to writing stories about this? I was just curious since we've done our own interviews with different things.
Here,
I will.
here at the Whale Lounge Repository, we are only concerned about the truth and nothing but the truth. We are here to
Meanwhile,
tell the tales of the people and making sure that everyone's voice is heard and that the truth reigns free.
Okay, so you'll take
with the rest of
interviews
the
from.
party,
So you'll take interviews from anyone then.
Yes.
Great. Okay. Uh, Dragon, your turn. You come up with something.
We have firsthand knowledge of the experiences of the fall of the ring. We were there until the last minute trying to save people.
Fantastic. I can get a reporter to interview you and get all your details.
We were curious about anybody else who would have had firsthand experience.
Oh,
Verified.
we have a lot of verified uh, testimonials. In fact, we can get you a collection of them in the back if you really wanted a quick draft of all of them. Of,
Yes, that would
That
be
would be great.
fantastic.
uh, uh,
Thank you.
of course. Now, in order for that to happen, since you have already told me that you are a first-hand witness to what had happened, I am going to need your information, and we're going to need to make sure you tell us all of your stories because that's what matters, right? The truth and nothing but.
Okay.
We,
Fa- fa-
I believe we've already discussed our stories with another reporter,
But that doesn't mean that we're exclusives.
but yeah, you might have already gotten a copy of that.
Fa- Fantastic. Who might have gotten this information?
I'm
Um,
blanking on her name.
out
What
of
was her name? Out of character?
oh, R.K. Wilder.
No, not Wilder. The reporter that was with us.
Oh yeah, that lady. Amara, I think.
Yeah, Mara.
Uh, as soon as you say her name, the ooze's face goes from like serious businessman to serious. Well, then we're gonna need to do our own interview. I don't trust anything from that goody two shoes.
Fair enough. I wasn't super thrilled to be interviewed by her either, and that is the truth out of character.
Good to know that I found a spirit dragon amongst my peers. Now, it has been actually in character 3 minutes and out of character 3 minutes, so I must go and do go to my next meeting. Goodbye.
Right. Okay.
Of course.
Bye.
Good luck, and I'll give him a pat on the shoulder,
Uh,
and I'll cast guidance as I do that. Don't have coffee, but here, maybe this will perk you up a little.
uh, I'm gonna be honest. As your hand sparkles, uh, immediately there are three people around with weapons drawn. Like from the people moving around, they pull out like swords. One person pulls out a bow, and like just seems like a short bow, and like they seem like turn a bookmark into an arrow. As Izzy, if like takes a step back, as like their flesh jiggles a little bit. If the guy is like, oh, well, this is nice. It's been a while since I've had a little bit of holiness in my soul.
We do what we can where we can.
Hmm.
Good day to you, sir. Referee is going to be completely nonplussed about the weapons around him.
Uh, Assistant, please put down this idea. Holy magic, a hoax. Magic from the soul instead. Save that for next week's journal.
Wow, what a hardcore atheist.
Listen, when the editor has an idea, the editor has an idea. Doesn't mean it's a good idea.
Got it.
Anyway, as you guys begin to head to the back where
Did
they mentioned the information that you guys wanted.
did anybody else react when those people did?
They
Like
gave you guys,
anybody
they
didn't like
immediately
pull a
took
weapon on us?
those who did not pull out weapons. They took steps back, but they continued to like move like just around
Okay.
the almost combat. It seems like this is the publication that never dies or never sleeps.
I can only imagine the amount of coffee they're drinking to be that on edge.
Yeah, you can only imagine. Calendus does not have that strong of coffee. Or even if they did, it would be too rich for your blood. Uh, anyway, Spurbot and Kalius, this woman has been talking for the past 5 minutes and is refusing to let you get a word in. She's being,
Hmm.
as you say, very rude.
And the scribe is writing all this down, right?
Yep.
I'm gonna break his quill.
You're just gonna
That's
go on up
great.
and break their quill? Just with your hand?
Yeah, just quill, pen, pencil, whatever. I'm just gonna grab it and snap it.
Uh,
Very mean.
you grab it and snap it, and the scribe just like blinks a few times, looks to you, and just. And the reporter is like enamored with the story and like going along with it before they turn to look that you've interrupted their scribe, and he eyes wide.
Look,
Sorry about
you
that,
don't
but
want to publish this. And then what I would like to do now that I've got attention, I would like to use a history check to point out the inconsistencies between the story that we're being told and what is actually on the public record.
can I give them the help action since I'm also proficient in history?
Uh, sure, honestly. Sure, go and destroy this woman with facts and logic.
I forget. Does help action still do advantage, or is it expertise die now?
Advantage.
It is still advantage. Okay.
But you are also able to.
Uh,
I'm giving you this because you are and you both are in fact both proficient in history.
Okay. All right. God damn, still a 12?
Uh, a trained actor. Let's see how well they do. Nope.
Ah,
Uh, as I essentially imagine this like essentially like a combat. Like she tries to attack you with logic, and you hit them back with a fact and a source. Like you're only able to like speak about like newspaper articles, like common information, but you're able to cut down her argument.
I mean, to be fair, me and the rest of the party were also interviewed by R.K. Wilder very shortly after
Act,
the
act,
event.
act,
Presumably, our accounts would be in the newspapers.
actually, he never actually got your accounts. He left before he could get anything.
Di- oh, damn.
RK,
Damn, it has been too long. I could have sworn we did. Okay.
out of character, I did ask a few questions, but I didn't really follow up on that. RK Wilder only came into the apartment, realized they did not have enough time to interview you, and dipped.
That's right.
Uh,
Uh,
anyway, you take them down with your logic and arguments, and this woman looks at you and like, you have no idea what I've lost.
no, I don't. But you weren't
And what
one who
exactly
lost.
did you
But you
lose?
weren't one of us who lost the first ring.
Tell me, what exactly did you lose? Because it looks like you're still pretty well off. I, on the other hand, this is literally the only outfit I have. I have 28 gold to my name. I lost my home, my business, countless family and friends. Seen a fucking mountain blow up outside of Tinderly. So again, what exactly did you lose again?
She tries to look down on you, Kalius. You sound poor. Only one pair of clothing. And this
That's what
report,
it
and
means
this,
to
and
lose
this, and this
everything, you
reporter,
ignoramus.
and this reporter looks to her and like, okay, that was uncalled for. You can call them as many mean things as you want, but you can't just call someone broke. That's rude and uncalled
It is
for.
rude, but that is rude. But
Not even
again, that
close
is
to
what
the
it
worst
means to
name
lose
I've ever been
everything.
called.
Uh, Out of character. If we,
You
if
honestly look like one of
guys, if we could, out of character, if we would please make sure we all say what we want to say, like one thing at a time,
Oh yeah,
not
true.
not interrupt each other. That'd be great. Thank you.
Sorry. You go ahead.
Uh, anyway, this like this scribe is still just looking at everything. They've pulled out another quill and is just continuing to write.
Point is, if you really want to go along with her story, just know that you're being fed a load of, well, to not be rude, a look at her, a load of crap,
Oh,
in more polite terms.
oh, and you with your first-hand experiences and certified facts, can they overpower my feelings? And the reporter's just like,
Yes.
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 Am I still getting paid for this? No. And this dude like turns to look at you guys as this woman like looks like. So these past few hours, I'm just and this guy just like, uh, can you please escort this woman away? And the scribe like like just nods her head and walks up and just says, "Ma'am, you need to leave now." She's like, "But but what about what about my feelings?" As she's essentially being like arm around arm, like being pulled away. As the reporter looks to you too, and like, so it seems like you guys have first-hand experiences of being at Tinderly.
Yeah, we
Yes,
were
and
at.
go ahead.
Oh, yeah, we were at Tinderly. We helped get a lot of people off, but couldn't get everyone, and we couldn't save the ring.
Well, can you please sit down and tell us your story?
I looked at Slurlod.
I mean, We could, but we're looking for some information ourselves. Perhaps we could make this some kind of exchange. If you could help us out, we help you with your story.
Of course. We'll need to wait for my scribe to get back, but
Speaking of your scribe, we're sorry about the quill. It was best way to interrupt that load of BS that was happening. Here, just let's just take this to replace it, even though I'm sure you have thousands already,
I
and
mean,
I'll hand the gold piece.
oh, no, there's plenty of pens, and as soon as you pull out the gold piece, like, well, we will definitely get some more pens with that. Thank you. They take the gold piece, and like as you guys begin to sit down and begin to recite your tales, another individual comes up to where the scribe was. Completely different person. They do have the symbol of the whale lounge on their lapel as they sit down and assume scribe duties.
Give me a.
As we go back to Carthon and Referami, you're planning to read through all the personal accounts of the repository.
I mean, all of them would be a lot, but as many of them as we reasonably can, I think.
Yeah, the repository
I
has
was gonna skim more for names, like see if there's any particular names that jump out at me based on what little I managed to dig up on my own to see if anything matched that and see if that correlates to any info I received.
uh, well, there is over 1,200 uh, first-hand accounts that have been recorded, and they are not organized. People are still in the process of trying to organize everything. And you begin looking through the names. What skill are you using to look through the names and trying to pull up important details?
I
Oh,
think
are you talking to me
I mean, either of
or
you.
Ref? Okay. Good question. I think probably I would go with. Do I have any knowledge skills? I'm gonna say perception since I'm pretty good at that. If I could get away with that instead of investigation or insight,
Uh, which one do you want to use, Carthon?
I'm gonna go with perception, which in this case, I'm more like I don't want to say speed reading, but I'm looking for like I'm looking at the headlines. I'm looking for anything that stands out. I guess
you're
something that
usually
contradicts what we or things that contradict what we've seen or each other or could give us a clue, I guess. I realize it's kind of vague.
Got it. Yeah, if you're just looking at like titles, make a perception check.
I will cast enhance ability as we start this on uh, on him with the owl's wisdom.
Cool.
Okay, cool.
Uh,
Then
it,
Do you have
yeah,
advantage on
I'll
wisdom
roll with
checks?
I'll roll with advantage.
uh, just to make things really quick,
Natural 20,
Halia,
Oh,
rolling
another
critical
one.
success. I will say, Referami, we are just gonna skip over the fact that that you're gonna be yelled at by nearby individuals for casting magic without warning.
And
yeah.
it turns out I might actually know another language. Choose the language most closely associated with the target. If this is your first time getting critical success with that language, you remember that you studied it long ago. Write down the language. Next time you roll this result, I guess, a nat 20 and a 2, you permanently learn the language. You want me to roll again, or should I keep that?
Give me a second. I'm gonna. Fun fact: we have lore for each of the languages.
Yeah, we do. This is probably in common since these are like newspaper articles, which I already know.
Uh, where do you know Gnomish?
No, I do not know Gnomish as of right now.
All right. Yeah. Make a note of Gnomish. Of like there is what appears to be a lot of like these like a lot of translations into Gnomish.
Okay.
And let me just I'm gonna read through and I'm just gonna let you know the basics of the narrative that seems to be like the most universal, like what's being printed on a lot of papers. It seems like
Got it.
General Flame of the Spirit has organized. They were organizing a coup in order to seize, essentially hold hostage the First Ring, essentially to get the government to bend to her whim. She had three units. I'm sorry, three lieutenants that essentially were assigned to be in charge of the subjugation of the three discs of the First Ring. Uh, a Lieutenant Valmasa Shakaris was supposed to subdue Alanin, given that they were attuned with nature and could control a lot of the organic matter. There was a Major Graf who distracted a lot of the military forces of Mycen to essentially go through all the drills and be distracted while they took over. And a Bara unit named Sergeant Major Sinbad, who essentially took a more direct approach in subjugating the Disc of Amir. And
Okay.
essentially a lot of the rank and file weren't actually military. They were assigned military. Essentially, did not go through basic training. They were just essentially roped into the scheme because they were more dedicated to anarchy rather than General Spirit's mission. And as such, they broke rank and file and started just doing their own thing. Multiple destruction, multiple destruction of key points later, the magic died enough in the first ring that it collapsed on its own weight. And that's and I will just post this in community notes that this is what is being presented.
Got it. Is Sinbad still alive or did they die?
You're not sure.
All right.
Uh,
All right, that's good to know.
so
Well,
so
too
so
bad they slandered Sinbad.
so let
Sorry, go
me
ahead.
so let me so here's the media narrative. Uh, here's what you pick up on, especially with the Whale Lounge repository. Uh, they like reading through the headlines and looking through like basic information. They do talk a lot about these four individuals. and they describe Sinbad, uh, Lieutenant Shakaris, Graf, with many different descriptions. One describes Sinbad as a large, in charge human woman who personally held back like hundreds of survivors from saving themselves. Some a few reports of like her going in, laughing maniacally, and slaughtering innocents. It seems like even within the repository, these key individuals are being described with different intents and different like descriptions of like their actions. Some are just straight up evil. It
Okay, so you're saying that the accounts don't agree with are you saying that each of the lieutenants is assigned a different motivation or the accounts aren't consistent with each other?
um since once again you're looking through the headlines of like the published works or like upcoming published works of the repository, and they are essentially giving harsh vibes, but different harsh vibes. They're not keep the repository is not keeping things consistent. It's almost like every other day they go from like, oh, Sergeant Major Sinbad was a murderer to Sergeant Major Sinbad was a fool to Sergeant Major
Okay.
Sinbad was a devious mastermind who took
Okay.
down a mirror.
And that one reporter had the audacity to be offended when Kalia said they're not qualified.
Uh,
Okay.
yeah, and like,
It sounds like they're not vetting any of their sources.
oh,
Yep.
and honestly, with that, like, it, like, especially since reading into, yeah, like the gnomish in particular, like, I think the best way to describe your natural 20 is more the fact that, like, honestly, the gnomish shit that you learn and like you look at seems to draw upon like the harsh language of draconic, and like you begin to like find a lot of parallels in the wordings. But yeah, they're just giving off a lot of different vibes. And the upcoming article about like Sinbad is that they were intentionally ready to kill themselves in order to make sure the entire ring falls apart.
Okay. Um, Carthon's gonna put his head down and say, "Okay, okay, okay. What are we learning from all this? We know that nobody's the real story. We know that. We know that they don't really seem interested in agreeing with each other. There's just this one publication, but it does seem to be leading the charge in publishing stories about this. Um,
Uh,
we know that obviously none of these people are, presumably none of these people are alive to give alternate accounts. I don't really think anything in here answers our question of why not every place is getting funded. What do you think, Ref?
may I please answer Raf's research real quick?
Oh yeah,
Unless
I
you want to
did.
continue this conversation. Actually, can
Did,
refer me. Feel free to answer. Sorry.
did did Ref do anything? I thought he used his. Oh, never mind. He did some. Yeah, he cast spell to give me advantage. Not It didn't use the help action. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
Uh,
Uh,
refer
yeah.
Berfarami, how do you wish to look through the names of people who have been interviewed?
Um, I think as much as I would like to try to use something that'd be a lot more helpful for me, I think I would probably be using perception as well, just to kind of scouring through as I like. I'm not reading the whole thing. I'm just skimming the name of the person interviewed, like the quick blurb at the very beginning, like the first sentence or two, to try to get a rough idea of the story they're trying to say, and then just looking for repeating names or any names that might be familiar to me. So I think probably perception or insight would be the best for that.
Uh, which skill do you want to use?
Uh, let's go insight. Trying to
Okay,
glean if there's any kind of a pattern to this. I think.
sure.
I don't suppose my sense motive specialty would apply.
It would not.
I didn't think so. What's shot? That's a 10.
You're
Um,
given that insight is a skill of like trying to find intention and like trying to skim beneath the surface. It is really hard to skim beneath the surface of written word, especially if you're trying to go for more quantity over quality. It's really hard, and you don't immediately uncover any information.
yeah, the sheer volume I think would probably be an issue in trying to figure out what's going on.
Fair enough. Uh,
Would I be able to use my inspiration to get a better roll on that?
yeah, if you want to re-roll.
Okay.
I believe that's a I remind me that is a universal thing that you can do, right? Everyone has that.
I believe so, yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that would be the universal insight. So reroll a check
Yeah, go for it.
or another d20 roll. My particular one for my destiny would be practiced edge, which would add a +5 to an ability check, attack roll, or saving throw before I know the outcome.
Got it.
But yeah, I think I'd rather go for a reroll on it.
Got it. Go for it.
All right, that'd be 19 instead.
Got it. Here's what I'm willing to. Here's what I'm willing to say because once again, insight's not really the right skill to use here because it's hard to judge intentions. But what you are able
Mhm.
to what you are able to pick up, there are multiple accounts that are like very long-winded and detailed, and there are some that are only a page long. And those really short ones really catch your attention because they're not necessarily like interviews. They're actually more of like descriptions of what happened. You're able to pick up that there is like a reporter came up and asked questions after being tipped off that they were on the first ring. Uh, responded respond harshly, made threats, and we broke off the conversation. But their name and some key details about them are still recorded. And you are able to find one name in particular that seems from uh, one of these short descriptions that catches your attention and gives you a little bit pause. You see Melanie's name.
I would definitely be reading that one a little more in depth, recognizing that name.
Uh, so first of all, you learn Melanie's last name, which is Lychee. Uh,
Like the fruit.
yeah, like the fruit,
Is it lychee or lychee?
lychee. Uh, and the description is learned about their involvement with the first ring through discovering their relationship with um I'm sorry, tipped off about their knowledge of the first ring through a I think they would be described as a repository patron. They came in asking for details about the first ring, and when asked to interview, she made many excuses and ran off after sorry, and ran off.
She as in not Melanie, or she
She
as in Melanie.
she as in Melanie.
Okay.
Uh,
Hmm.
uh, I'm gonna honestly let. Are you gonna show this to Carthon?
Yeah, definitely. I would be setting that one aside.
Yeah. And as you do that, Carthon, I'm gonna let your perception actually roll over on this. You see that there is a slight shimmer on the bottom part of the paper of this report. There's something more here. And I just wish to mention that this does have Melanie's full name, address, to like essentially like a follow up, basic details like date of birth, gender, like the basic stuff you'd put on the top of a form, which is given the context of this report, you're I think you rolled high enough on an insight referami that you can realize that they probably didn't get this information from the interview.
Yeah, that doesn't bode well.
I know my character's not there, but it sounds like they have a source that's following us,
Hey,
us
wait.
being survivors.
Hey, could you guys hear me before?
No, just now.
Oh, I must have been muted. I am sorry. Okay, yes, I heard all that. I heard about Melanie. Is Melanie the interviewer or the interviewee in this article?
Interviewee. Uh,
Okay,
oddly enough, it is important to note. Uh, there are there are many especially like the whenever they respond, like in actual interviews, the interviewer is actually recorded on the form. On these forms where there is essentially the interviewee does not respond favorably, the interviewer is not listed.
got it. Well, it sounds like Melanie was doxxed. That's unfortunate. Who's the
Um,
interviewer in this article?
Uh, like I said, this one
yeah.
in these they are not
Okay.
mentioned.
All
Um,
right.
Picking up on that, I think in addition to scrolling for the names, I'm also gonna pay a little bit more particular attention to the ones that are similar to Melanie's, where it's just a quick info and not an actual interview with somebody, and see if any of those other ones are kind of popping out, like a name that I would recognize, or details that don't seem like it would be from the interviewee. and see if there's any kind of a connection there.
Uh, one once again, you find like a few other individuals with their addresses, with personal details, and nobody that you really recognize by the time somebody comes up, and it's Haida with a big old smile. Hello, Mr. Zalros and Mr. Grulush.
Yep, that's me and Tim.
Growledge, actually.
Uh, I've been informed that you guys are first-hand survivors of the fall of the Disc of Amir.
We are,
That's why we're here.
yes.
Oh, well, I've been informed that you guys had agreed to an interview, and well,
Yes.
and your other two associates, uh, they're already being interviewed. Uh, there's a lot of hubbub in here. Do you guys want me to move you guys to an interview room so that we can better record your tales?
Sure.
Sounds motive,
Yeah, roll insight.
because we never agreed to anything.
Uh, you guys didn't.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we didn't.
Uh,
15?
they genuinely seem to believe that you guys agreed to this, or at least.
No, I did agree to it to try to ingratiate myself more, get some more information. Um, the only proviso I'm going to put on that is I'm going to demand that my real name is not used, that they use an alias or just excluded or something like that. If they do that, then I'm willing to give an interview.
Hmm, I don't think that's unreasonable. Uh, ask that again with the reporter, okay?
Oh, never mind. I thought this guy was the reporter. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I don't see why that would be an issue.
All right.
Uh, here, follow me. I'll make sure that your associates Kaylee and Sparbot are also brought to the same room.
Okay.
I think Referami would just kind of look down at the paperwork that he's looking through and starting to find some connecting dots here, and just kind of sigh a little bit. And you mind if I hang on to these until we're done? I'd hate to lose them again and have to find them again.
Oh, well, that's gonna need to stay here in special collections. I'm sorry, Referami.
Would somebody be able to set it aside for me at least, so I don't have to go find it again?
We can make a
I'm
note.
not trying to not trying to leave the repository with it. I just don't want to lose it in the pile and not to find it again.
I understand. Uh, here. Let me just write down where it's gonna be put. Because this is all being categorized and organized. I'll just write down the section, and they write down what seems to be essentially like a Library of Congress code, and hands it to you, Referami.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna look over to Carthon and well, let's go interview John.
All right.
And you guys begin to follow Haida. And Spurbata and Kalius, you're being interviewed by this reporter who very sensationalist. They are really like trying to hone in on your emotions rather than what happened. They're more focused on how you felt through all this. And like and especially when you mention names, they ask some personal questions. Was this a friend? Was this a lover? Or like they're really trying to get all the details of the emotions and the people.
Oh, they're gonna be bored with me because Kalius in his mind already said, gonna try to be very blank faced, be professional about this. And honestly, I don't have lots to tell anyway.
Not yet. We still need to do another session 0 for Kalius.
Oh, true, yeah.
Oh, I gotta be there for that.
I don't know when that's gonna be, but definitely will be like maybe like a half-hour session. Heyo. Anyway,
We just depended to the end of this session.
I would need to talk to Carlos and figure out the basics,
Okay,
similar how I did with the rest of you guys, because I still need to get
got it.
some details figured out with Kalius's backstory.
Uh,
Anyway, uh, anything special you guys wish to mention, or just continuing your story?
No, nothing in particular.
I was
I
specifically
we
asking Kalius and Spurbod.
uh, I see.
I apologize.
like I said, Kalius just recounts the basics of what he went through. They started normal. Um, there was an earthquake, which is concerning when you're on the ring. All of a sudden, people who appear to be soldiers started attacking people. After that, chaos just very quickly erupted, and that he was basically just trying to lay low and try to find a way to escape,
Yeah,
and eventually found his way to meeting up with Referami and finding his escape route.
fair enough.
After that,
And honestly, like this reporter is like they're not surprised by anything of what you just say. They're more like, yeah, they're just like, yeah, I understand. Man, that must have been very rough. Like, none of these details like really takes them off guard until eventually, Haida comes up to the two of you. Oh, uh, Josepher, I, what are you doing with these two individuals? And the reporter's like, oh, well, I'm interviewing them about what happened on the first ring. They're saying that they're tenderfolk. And Haida's like, oh, I didn't know that. Did you guys want a private interview room? And the interviewer's like, oh, yes, if you're offering. I would love to be out of this chaos and into some peace and quiet. And Haida smiles like, of course. Let's get you guys all set up. Feel free to follow me. I know one that's available right now for you guys. And
can I roll insight? It seems like there's some interior motive happening right now.
if you want to try,
Yeah, I like to roll insight against this dude. Let's see what I get. Let's go nat one.
seems legit.
9.
Seems legit.
Seems legit.
Fine.
All right. You guys begin your own journeys to the interview room with Haida. And a little bit of
What did they hide away?
I see what you did there. Anyway, you guys go deeper into special collections, like down a door, which seems to have like a very nice hallway. Some nice paintings of individuals that you probably have not met. In very academic garb. Uh, some of them do have plaques of like this person made this article and caused this, and like really the Whales Lounge is really trying to sell itself as a reputable uh, source of information.
How's that working out for them?
Well, they still seem like they're making enough money to make ends meet, so you tell me.
Well, with prices like they are, I sure hope they are, because otherwise they're
Listen,
doing
there's
literally
always going to
everything
be
wrong.
idiots, or there are always going to be idiots who believe anything and people looking for a good laugh. How is the general consensus about how good these people are?
Make a culture check.
I'll do that later.
All right.
Actually, I think I already did that last time.
All right. And as the Haida opens the door for you, Carthon, and Referami, feel free to wait in here. Uh, the the interviewer will come in. There should be some lemonade, water, and if you there's some paper in there if you need to write anything down, take some notes for yourself to plan yourself. And you guys look inside the room, and it looks like a nice, comfortable room. Carpet. There is some snacks, paper, everything as described. Even some chairs for you guys to sit in.
Does anything about this feel off in any way?
Uh, if you want to attempt an insight check, you could try. Uh, I would not have. I'm not sure if I would have allowed the expertise die here,
Okay,
since
so
you
minus 413.
since you getting the general vibes, I don't think would be around sensing motives, because you didn't really describe trying to get a read on them in particular.
I threw that on there because I was literally like, this feels off to me.
Yeah,
Like everything about this whole thing leading up to them pulling us in, the interview, the room down the hallway, away from everything. Like everything about this is like screaming internally that something is wrong.
got it. Then yeah, you don't really get any vibes. It it is an isolated room. You don't see any other doors.
Ugh. As a gamer, this sounds like a ambush.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Does
Anybody
this
else want to roll insight?
I think at the moment it's just us two. I don't think anybody else is here.
I think we're all here now.
Nope.
Then I wouldn't be with Russ around me. I would be a Splorbot.
Yep.
True.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's just me and Carthon right now. Sorry, John.
Jean Valjean.
But yeah, does this door lock from the inside? From the outside? Does it lock at all?
It looks like it. It does seem like it's a deadbolt from the inside.
Okay. That's so just my fear just a smidge.
Uh, Haida smiles and gestures for you guys both to go inside.
Oh, I thought we were already inside.
Oh no, you haven't entered yet.
Oh, yeah. Then we'll walk in, I guess.
Cool. You walk inside, and Haida
I look up.
closes the door, and you guys are immediately hit with the smell of cinnamon.
Yeah, there it is.
It's very nice. As Kalius and Spervad, you're led down another hallway by Haida. And Haida just makes you like, uh, since since you've already described some of what you've done, and like sort of like lucid reporter, who I already forgot the name of, uh, what things do you think you need for a more effective interview? And that they're just like, oh, weapons. Uh, I'm gonna need more paper. Kaylee's had some very nice descriptions of locations, and I might want to try to draw it with my scribe. Uh, it's like, oh, perfect. We can arrange for that to be done. Uh, Now we are going to bring you guys to the interview room. Is there any special requests from either of you? Water, soda, liqueur?
Do you usually offer alcohol to people you're about to interview?
Uh, well, we're not going to give you too much alcohol. In fact, but we still need to get to the truth. However, sometimes a little bit of libations, especially for such a traumatic incident, helps the soul.
Yeah, in
I
my
think we're
experience,
both
from
good.
what I've seen, alcohol tends to embellish and make up details that never happened.
Hmm. Then I will make sure we don't have any alcohol in this room. Please, go inside. You can continue your work, and we'll make sure we get the rest of your party involved. As they open the door to a room with paper, a nice carpet, a few different snacks, a few different fruits. And the interviewer smiles and immediately goes inside. He just says, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks, I guess.
As I assume you guys enter, correct?
Yeah, I'd
Yeah,
say so.
Yeah.
All right. As you guys enter your own separate room, Haida smiles and closes the door behind you guys. And time begins to pass. I think Reframi and Carthon, you guys probably notice it first, since at about the 5 minute mark, there really hasn't been any movement. Nobody's really come to get you. Nobody's knocked on the door. Nothing's really happened.
So we're just waiting in these interview rooms, these empty rooms.
Yep, just the two of you.
Are we in the same room?
No.
Just the two of us.
All right. I guess I'll go over and poke my head out the door, see if anyone's around.
The door does not
Oh.
open.
It's open.
There
Yep.
it
It's
is.
locked.
There it is.
There's a deadbolt. There is a deadbolt on your side. Would you like to unlock it?
Oh, it's locked from this side. Then yeah, I can unlock it. Sure.
You click it, and the door still does not open.
There it is.
What's the door made out of?
It seems to be made of wood.
I'm gonna wait a couple more minutes. But if nobody lets me out by then, I don't know. I'm not thinking this is anything overly sinister at the moment. I'm thinking this is if I try to break out, they'll sue me for any damage done, and that's how they get money. That's the primary way that they get money. Huh.
I think I would just do just kind of nonchalantly, just kind of stretch my legs and do a walk around the room while examining the wall. Trying to see if there's anything weird about the walls as I walk around, just looking.
Is this an engineering or an investigation check?
I think I'm gonna go with engineering. See if there's anything
Hell
weird
yeah.
about the walls.
Hell yeah. Use that skill that we don't have in 5e.
18.
Here's what you discover. There's a lot of rebar. Like you inspect it, and there, looking past the wallpaper, it is concrete in this room. And you notice there's a lot of rebar. Like this room is very structurally sound to a point of concern.
That door's not opening, I'm gonna assume, Corthon?
I don't think we can talk to each other if we're not in the same room.
No, Referami and Carthon, you're both in the same room.
Yeah,
Oh,
I thought
we are.
were
We are in the
room.
same
You
room.
two are in the
From
same
other
room, but you're not with Kaelius or Spurbod.
I see. Okay. What are you making out of this? You said that it's mostly rebar. Okay, that's pretty
Yeah,
tough.
I'm just gonna lean against the wall and just kind of tink tink knock against it.
Is there a keyhole on this side of the room? Or on this side of the door, like a way to lock and unlock the door?
No, actually.
No. Okay. So there's no way to. So there's no lock. There's no lock to possibly pick.
You could try, but you're not proficient in thieves' tools, because there's still the deadbolt you could work with that doesn't seem to work.
Okay, all right. I'm kind of confused. So there's not a lock, but you're saying that I could attempt lock picking if I was skilled with that.
You you're really confused. If you had proficiency in thieves' tools, you might be able to put something together.
No,
However,
no, 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 no. I don't. No, I'm not actually interested in trying to pick the lock. I'm not proficient with it. What I'm asking is if there's a keyhole, which is what lock picks would primarily work with. I do actually have a key with me. I have the key to that aerial vehicle, and I would like to try it on the 1 in 100 or more chance that it's compatible with the lock.
There's
That's what
no
I was
way
trying
that's
to
a
get
fit.
at.
Hey,
What I was saying is like if like you could with thieves tools like take off the deadbolt and try to undo it from this side. There's no keyhole on this side.
there's other ways to take a deadbolt off a wall.
Exactly.
Not
Yeah. Um. Okay. Well, I don't want to break anything yet, not because I'm worried about damage, but because I don't want this place to sue me. So okay, I guess I'm not gonna do anything.
All right. Uh, in the other room, Spurbot and Kalias, as this individual is interviewing you guys, you guys hear a knock, not from the door, but from the wall, and the interviewer perks up and like, oh, that must be our supplies, and uh, goes,
Our supply.
yeah, the papers I requested. I do appreciate them coming so.
Go ahead and watch where this person walks to.
Uh, they going up and like they go up to one of the walls and like they put their hand out and they wait and they wait.
To request the supplies, usually just pop out of the wall and not come through the door with somebody carrying them.
Oh, these interview rooms, they do just come through the walls. There's openings. So honestly,
Like a dumbwaiter.
I suppose.
You suppose.
I don't know.
Dumbwaiter, or is it something different?
Give me a second. They knock on the wall. Hmm, that's interesting. Now, Spurbod, please tell me more about. Uh, tell me more about this Rudgel fellow.
Hmm.
Well, what exactly you want to know?
Uh, Out of character, we don't have to actually narrate this, but they are gonna ask
Oh
like,
no, that's no. I genuinely, I think that would be Splurbot's question because Rodgel's story is his to say.
Did you mention Rodgill to him?
I mean, if you're not holding
I
anything
mean,
back,
if I'm telling the story about what happened, I would have mentioned like, yeah, a student of mine was helping out.
uh, why did you help this poor human? And why do they have the same last name as uh another individual I know? Uh,
Now, I don't exactly know the answer to that second question, but as for the first,
well, I mean,
well,
do you not know Mayethel Beam? She's been taking the political world by storm. Apparently, she's running for some very high office on the platform of this incident and how this should never happen again.
look, here's what I know. Rodgel was a student of mine. He's a hard worker, dedicated, kindest soul you'll ever meet. Never mentioned a damn thing about any Myelthal.
Hmm. It must be just a coincidence. He has a very specific last name, though. You gotta admit, it's two M's. That's a lot. Uh, Back to you guys. You guys hear a knock back on on your wall. Back to Carthon and Referami. There's somebody on the other side from where Carthon knocked on the wall.
I don't think I knocked on the wall. I think that was
That
Referami.
was me. Yeah.
Regardless, somebody knocked on the wall.
Um.
Hmm.
Hello.
Well, I don't speak Morse code, assuming that's what this is, which it probably isn't. Um, yeah, I guess, I mean, if we can hear tapping, I'm just gonna go up to the wall and, try to enunciate, "Hello, who's there?"
Uh, do we hear anything?
Uh, how loud are you being, Carthon?
I'm not exactly being subtle about this. I want people to hear us.
Roll performance.
I was about to say, I think I can help
Six.
with this.
If you want to make your own check, go ahead.
No, I was gonna use thaumaturgy.
Oh, oh, okay, cool. Should I roll with
Um,
advantage?
let's see. I think.
I,
Oh, I think I can only target myself with that.
yeah,
Oh, that's
you
fine.
can only
Yeah.
make
Never
yourself
mind.
louder. The power of
Yeah.
you cannot bestow the power of Karen upon another person. They cannot carry that burden.
Curses. All right. Then I'll wait a second to see if anybody responds to him, and if not, then I'll use thaumaturgy and make my voice louder and repeat what he said.
Got it.
Hello.
You make a performance check, Referami. And if thaumaturgy gives you advantage or another expertise die, use it.
It just makes my voice boom up to 3 times louder than normal.
Then I'll say
So
that's enough for advantage, given that this is a quiet room.
okay. For the advantage, at a dirty 20.
Kalius, Spurbod, you both hear a hello, very muffled. Honestly, you're not sure what the voice is behind it, but you definitely hear a voice in response.
Look at the recorder. So you're gonna tell us the walls also talk?
Mm, mm, I mean, there was the one time it talked about what kind of soup I wanted, but it didn't ask me how my day was going or hello.
Right. Was when we were walking to this room, was there a room next to was there another room next to it? Like
Like
another door close by?
yeah, like probably like 30 feet away.
Right. So either you have somebody trapped in the walls or somebody trapped in a room on the other side of the wall.
Hello, can you hear me? Who's there?
I get up and knock on the wall and yell, "Yeah, I can hear you."
Do I hear them?
Performance check, Kalius.
This is because this could only go well. Oh, I
So
forgot
true.
I have expertise dice on this.
Yeah,
Watch me out.
you are very good at getting attention.
Let's
Not on this one.
go.
Uh,
Still not in that one though.
True.
It's a 7.
and as you guys are trying to establish contact, you, I think both of you guys, both in both rooms, you guys see something drop. And as you guys turn to see them, there appears to be it appears to be a human, but they're dressed in very fine armor, very fine weapons. Honestly, they look like straight out of like a movie, like as like an like a leading role in like an action movie. We will address uh, for kicks and giggles. We're going to address Referami and Carthon first, as this individual takes a few steps forward. You, both of you, what are you doing in here?
We were told to wait in here for an interview.
An interview?
Yep.
There aren't there aren't any scheduled interviews in here. What is what is your name and what is your true purpose here?
Did we get the name of the person who let us in
I
here?
Yeah.
The eccentric person who let us inside in the first place after he
Yeah.
jumped out of the window.
Oh, P-Day?
Yeah, he did. Looks at you and just
Well, you think we somehow broke in here, made it this deep into your
I broke into this empty room.
enclave, locked ourselves in a room from the outside?
Yeah,
How does that
look,
make any sense to you?
we just want to get out of here. I don't know what your deal is, but we'd be happy to leave you alone because this seems like somebody was pulling our leg.
somebody is pulling your leg indeed.
Uh-huh. Can I insight check to see if this guy's hostile? He has armor and weapons on, and we're in a
They
locked
are.
room.
I don't think you need to roll. They are pulling out their weapons.
What? Where did this guy come from?
You,
Where'd he
Like
go?
the ceiling?
yeah, like seems like coming from the ceiling.
Okay. Whoa, sir. I we really don't have to do this. Just open the door and we'll leave, okay?
They just smile as we flip over to Kalius and Spurbod. As a very
Like,
as a
all right, Mister. We're not getting into combat today.
uh as as we flip over.
He didn't say
No,
that he
that's
wasn't
why we're
gonna
not going to
prep
get.
us
That's
for
why
combat.
we're not going to get to combat today. Is we're just going to stay. Camera's going to pan off. We're going to focus on Splurbot and Kalius for the
Okay.
last 30 minutes.
All
As
right.
honestly, that was really funny, Mark. Uh, you are not wrong. In that though. As
Unless we really
Fall
mess,
off the
unless we really messed up somehow. But okay, I'm not. I'm
I
whatever. It's fine.
uh
I mean,
I,
I,
I
I will
like I
give
like
you, I
combat,
will
so I'm
give
not
you points for
complaining.
messed up.
out of character, I don't think you messed up at all, Carthon.
All right.
Uh,
Yeah,
I,
the messing
I
up was
did.
on my part.
I think we're all good. I'm not complaining. I like combat anyway. I'll let you guys go on.
I do need to shoehorn combat into this very much intrigue. Like, it not complete intrigue, but there's definitely intrigue involved here. As the first combat spills over, uh, Kalius and Spurbod, a literal like person straight out of generic action movie, has landed in front of the door and just looks to all of you and is like, "Oh, hello. I seem to be interrupting something, aren't I?"
I looked at the interviewer. Is this also normal?
I mean, it has happened before, but mainly to like sort of like looks at the dude's weapons. Not normally someone who's armed to the teeth like you guys are.
Haley's gonna pinch the bridge of his nose. All right, can you just be straight with us? It's not. Are we about to get attacked? Is this an ambush? Were we had? I feel
I
like we were had.
I why would you be I'm sorry. What are you in as they're saying that? This dude sprints towards the interviewer
And I use a reaction
to do what?
and push the
I
interviewer out of the way.
Spurbud?
I genuinely, what I was going to do, I would like to, as a reaction, shoulder check.
Is that
It's
like
one of
an
my. It's one of. That's one of my maneuvers.
like specialized maneuvers?
Yeah, one of the first degree ones. Yeah.
You know what? If you're willing to expend exertion on this, uh, Kalius, as like you try like go for a push, you're not a trained, you're not trained in the art of moving people around. Spurbud beats you to it, and we're just,
I'm going to. Oh,
uh,
do you want me to go ahead and roll for that or?
what are you rolling damage or the save?
The way the shoulder check works, I make an athletics check against their maneuver DC. Uh,
Uh,
on a success, I get to move them 10 feet away.
got it.
So basically, like stopping them from approaching.
Oh, you're shoving the guy.
Yeah,
Got it. Then yeah, please roll.
like catching him as he's coming, and pushing him away.
Got it. Then yeah, please make your athletics check.
All right,
So wait,
athletics.
it's Flurbot. You're going for the dude with the armor or the interviewer?
Yeah. Then
The dude with the armor.
then Kalius, make it an athletics check to shove the interviewer.
Got it.
22.
Yeah. You step in front like some sort of fighting game, like intro, and shove them back with your hands and shield. Uh, and with that natural 20 you
Nice.
just rolled, Kalius.
Fucking,
We,
I've seen this before. People just suddenly being attacked. I've had to shove people out of the way before in my restaurant.
we've been getting quite a few nat 20s today. Good for us.
True.
Please roll on critical success table.
Okay. Oh, 1. Cool confidence. For the next 24 hours, when making a skill check of the same type, you can choose to gain a result as if you rolled a 10 on the die instead of whatever you roll.
So whenever you now have a natural talent or reliable talent for
Reliable
shoving people.
talent, yeah.
For shoving people. Honestly, I need to debate whether or not I want to keep up this critical success table.
For athletics, for 24 hours, not forever. Yeah, it's up to you. I don't.
I think
It's for to keep track of, but I don't really mind.
I think I'm just going to specifically have it be pushing people.
Okay.
Yeah, and again, it's just for the next day.
Yeah.
This day until tomorrow.
I'm gonna be honest. If you had succeeded, when also Shorod succeeded, I would have made it really awkward. But honestly, I'm gonna say with that natural 20, you push him into a chair, rolls back into the corner. Like this dude, like is like in a perfect position as like Sparrowbot pushes the assailant back and you push them off to the side. The reporter just looks at this guy and
You're
like,
eating this up, aren't they?
uh, actually, honestly, they're even though they do pull out like their journal, they look at you, Kalius, and like, okay, given my experience, this is definitely an ambush.
Yeah, figured that. Sorry about shoving you. Looked like he was about to do something.
You know, I consent. It should be,
Cool.
and
Might want to stay there or try to get the door open. Oh,
uh,
after we deal with this guy.
they're already climbing up the
If you can
shelf,
get in contact with the with the uh, with the researchers, make sure that all civilians are out, get evacuated.
and like I don't know how to get communications out of this room. Normally people talk to me, and as the assailant just like gives a very creepy smile that the only thing you can really describe it as is similar to the posers that you guys fought.
Mm,
Oh, son of a bitch.
Yep.
Sorry.
As you guys begin to get ready, and the party has been split. You guys are both gonna have to deal with your own elite poser.
All right, I'm ready for it.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
I don't.
I wish I
I hope we
had
can. I hope we
used
can do that. I
a
hope we can do this
second level
tonight.
spell slot.
But yeah,
Okay. Question though. Question. Are we armed? Like, would we have brought our weapons and armor in here?
I mean they never stopped you from bringing in weapons and armor. I mean you guys did pay to be in here.
This is true. All right.
Yeah, no, this is not a situation where they took your weapons and armor. Though definitely, if you had done something bad with your weapons and magic, bad things would have happened. But you guys have not. Merely pulling out your weapons and self-defense is presumably not going to break your contract.
Oh no, that's what I'm worried about right now. Yeah, no, I'm down for combat then. All right.
Hell yeah. Don't worry. If they uh if they took your weapons, I would have told you.
Yeah, the second he came asking about the interview, my spidey sense was tingling like all get out.
Yeah, same, but I rolled a 9, so.
Regardless, welcome to the conspiracy, guys. Don't die.
It is a conspiracy.
Don't tell me what to do. You're not my real dad.
I'm not, and I hope never to be your real dad, because that's not how that works.
You're not even my stepdad.
Okay. On that note, I hope you chat. I hope you guys enjoyed the session. May we
Indeed.
please and have a great week. Once again, I'm gonna post these on 5 p.m. on Mondays if I remember. And once again, tune in next or in 2 weeks from now at 6:30 Central Time to see what comes next for our heroes tonight.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
That was pretty exciting. Bye, everybody. See you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night,
Bye.
everybody.